In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, we've got the scoop on the new ARX ammo from Ruger and Polycase. Also, protecting your rights when talking with your doctor, plus your range reports and more. Call in now at 866-825-5486. Now, here's Tom.
I can hardly wait to get started. We have so many things to talk about. Hey, I'm Tom Gresham. Glad that you could be with us. Of course, it's Gun Talk. If you'd like to join us, it's really, really easy. Just give us a call, 866-TALK-GUN. That's 1-866-825-5486. I can't remember those numbers either. Yeah, I do it this way. Just dial 1 and then Tom, Talk, Gun. Pretty easy. Email tom@guntalk.com, over on Twitter @GunTalk. Don't forget, we have the Gun Dealio app running. Be sure to download your free copy, put it on your Android or your iPhone to find the best deals, the best promotions, the things that even your gun store may not know about, but they're available to you. You get them all free on Gun Dealio. Lots of things going on. Let's see, our Gun Talk television show keeps running. Every week we have cool things going on, showing neat guns out there. And also, of course, the Guns and Gear show runs. We'll have more about that a little bit later today. I got into, woohoo! I did an interview this week. Did not actually know what I was getting into. It was one of those 6 o'clock in the morning emails that says, hey, can you do an interview with us? Like in an hour and a half. By the time we got it worked out, I did it. It was with New York City, Manhattan, NPR station. Had never heard of the host, didn't know who he was, just knew his name was John. Well, I'll tell you more about that, but just to give you a taste of where he is, where some folks are on the gun issues. In one of his questions, he equates guns and Ebola. And I said, certainly you're not comparing the two. He says, well, they both kill, don't they? Okay. God. The good folks at Ruger have been cranking out new things like crazy. And I mean, not just new guns, but new everythings. And it's actually kind of nuts how much stuff they have been turning out. I've been sending out a lot of this information on my Twitter account. So if you follow me on Twitter, you're up on what's going on. But there's so much there. And actually there's some kind of backstory. I want to find out what's going on, why, how are we doing all this? What's the best way for us all to take advantage of it? So we brought in RG Stitt. He is the National Sales Manager from Ruger. Hey, RG, how are you doing?
Good, Tom. How are you doing today?
I don't know how you guys do all the things you're doing. We've got not trade-ins, but trade-ups. We've got ammo. We've got new guns. We've got branding, licensing things. We've got knives. It's crazy what you guys are up to.
It is pretty amazing. We have a great team that has developed a lot of interesting new and innovative products. And then our marketing team has done a great job on the licensing side of the business, in particular this ARX Polycase ammo that you were just speaking of.
Yeah, I do. We have to at least talk about that because for those that don't know, they may have seen the video that we did on our Guns and Gear show. We showed some Polycase ammo. And Ruger is branding that, so now it's Ruger handgun ammo, right?
Absolutely. So, the consumers walk into a store and they will find ammunition on the shelf that says Ruger on it, manufactured by Polycase. It's really an innovative product. It's, a mostly copper bullet with a little bit of polymer added into it to keep it all held together. It's an interesting method of manufacturing, but makes for a very good quality and high-performance bullet in this ammunition.
You know, RG, in the technology world, you'll hear the phrase thrown out now and then, disruptive technology, where it comes in and it simply changes things. And I told somebody this week, I said, I've been looking at ammo for 50 years, and you keep hearing, yeah, this is the latest and greatest, and this does this, and this does that. And after a while, you go, yeah, come on, guys, it's just another bullet. It's not that big a deal. And then when I look at what this ammo is and what specifically this bullet does, and I was trying to describe it to a guy who's a real gun guy. He said, that's impossible. I said, yeah, I know, but it does. It doesn't expand. The bullet does not expand, and yet it has tremendous terminal performance in terms of it's not expansion, it's hydraulic disruption of the fluid like in ballistic gel. And then when it's done, you get all this penetration, and the bullet looks like you could reload it, but the performance it looks like you shot something with a hollow point bullet. It's crazy.
Exactly. I'm far from an engineer. I'm a firearms user and sell firearms for a living. But I can tell you this ammunition is very impressive. And it really has to do with the bullet design and the angle at which the cuts are in the bullet itself, and it makes it. It's said to have like the effect of running a snowplow down the street. It does not expand, it doesn't change shape, but it makes a big path as it goes through, and the shock wave that goes through the gelatin is extremely impressive.
I like the snowplow reference. Another one I have started using is I say, a garden hose, if you don't have a nozzle on it, you just turn it on. It just kind of goes out there, and it's a nice stream. But if you want it to actually do some work, you put your thumb over the end of the hose and you make it squirt out at high velocity. That's essentially what these bullets are doing. They're squirting out the fluid to the sides at high velocity and causing all this disruption. And the other thing is, like in the 9mm, you're talking about 1,500 feet per second out of this stuff, using lightweight bullets going really fast. This is impressive.
Exactly. The velocity is what does the damage.
So, so that's available, I guess, now in some calibers, and you're going to have more calibers coming out as we go along?
Yes, absolutely. Mostly handgun cartridges, and, you can go to polycase.com to look up any more detailed information that you might want on that product.
All right, very good. Now, got to ask you, I was kind of knocked over when I saw what you guys are doing. A trade-in, I actually call it a trade-up program for a Ruger pistol. You actually trade one of your old pistols in and get an upgrade?
Yeah, well, never would we have thought that there would be so much talk about a simple program as this LC9 trade-in program. So basically what we have going on is if you own an LC9 with a traditional trigger pull, you are now being encouraged to trade that in for the new LC9S. The reason for that is primarily we have a lot of consumers that now have tried the trigger pull on the striker-fired pistol that we introduced about a year ago, and they were like, can I send my gun back in and get this new trigger pull put in the gun? Well, no, you can't, because the guns really are the same only by name. It's a complete redesign of the product. And so we have this new great trigger pull that everybody likes. How do we get it? Well, we're going to encourage you to take your old gun into your local retailer, make a deal with the dealer on what he will give you on trade. You pay the difference, and Ruger, on top of that, will give you a $100 gift card for shopruger.com, where you can go buy new magazine, new holster, your Ruger hat, or whatever you like.
Okay, so let me see if I got this right. I've got an LC9. I take it to my gun store and say, hey, I want to buy the LC9S. That's the new striker-fired version. It's, frankly, in my view, it's a really improved version. Got a great trigger pull. And now I'm going to dicker with my gun store. And he says, okay, I'll give you X for that gun as a trade-in. And then I do my deal. And then after I've done that, Ruger is going to give me $100 on top of that to spend at shopruger.com.
Exactly. So it's basically like, you have a car that's a few years old. The new model comes out. It has some nice new accessories on there that you would like to own. You take your car in, you make the deal, you trade the car in, and you get a $500 brand loyalty discount from the car manufacturer. We're doing that for the, for Ruger's loyal owners. If you own an LC9 and you are not happy with the trigger pull, now let's get this clear. The traditional LC9 is a traditional double action trigger pull. There's nothing at all wrong with it. The guns work great. They function well. They're very serviceable. Right. So there's no need. It's not that there's something wrong with the old gun. It's that the new gun is so good. It's just so nice. It gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling when you pull the trigger on the LC9S. So,
okay, couple of questions for you.
Yep.
All right, couple of questions. There's no set standard for the trade-in price, so that's between the consumer and the gun store?
That is correct. Unfortunately, in the gun business, every dealer is an independent dealer, with independent being, the key word.
That's the key word.
So,
yeah.
So they run their businesses the way they want. It's an interesting one from our perspective. We have different dealers. We have consumers calling in saying my local dealer doesn't want to accept the trade-ins. And then you have other dealers calling saying, send everybody to me with their trade-ins. The regular LC9 is a great gun, and if I can buy that right and sell it right, I can make another person happy with a used Ruger and make the original owner happy with the new LC9S. So it's now
what does the consumer need to do? Does he have paperwork he needs to have to send into Ruger to qualify for the $100?
Right. Basically, all he needs to do is upload a picture of the receipt that shows the traded-in gun serial number with the new serial number. I think pretty much any retailer in the country can come up with something for you on that, and upload that to our website, and we'll send you the gift card code by email, and you can go right over to Shop Ruger and buy all kinds of good accessories.
And, of course, I'm just looking at this and thinking this through. When you go to shopruger.com, you can buy, extra magazines and things like that.
Absolutely. Extra magazines, holsters, cleaning kits, anything you can imagine. Anything that guns, if a gun goes in it or it goes in a gun, it should be on Shop Ruger, and especially the things that are associated with our products. And there's some branded things, and then there's other high-quality brand name items, from every manufacturer throughout the gun industry. So there's a lot of good stuff on there. You can always find something on Shop Ruger, even if it's a ball cap.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, one other question. I'm sure you've gotten this. So the guns stay with the dealer. The dealer can just put it back into circulation. This is not a recall where Ruger gets the guns back or anything. You're just encouraging people, making it available to them. So, it's not a case of these guns are coming back to you guys.
No, absolutely not. There's nothing wrong with the guns at all. Like I said earlier, there is a percentage of people that like that long, heavy trigger pull for a defensive situation. You have to be more, how do I want to say it, determined to pull the trigger in that situation. Yep. With that longer, heavier trigger pull, it is found to be safe in some scenarios, where other people are used to that striker-style system, which is the new, what we have in that new LC9S. So the gun stays with the retailer, and like I said, here is the opportunity for a gun retailer to make a profit on a good quality gun that he knows he can stand behind, because he doesn't have to worry about it coming back returned because of it being low quality.
There you go. And you could either sell it or could put it into their rental fleet. They do whatever they want to. RG, you guys are just up to all kind of cool stuff. I know you got more things coming that we're aware of some of them. When you've got more news, can we get you back on to tell us the new stuff that's coming up?
Absolutely, Tom. Whenever you want me.
We'll do that. RG, I really appreciate it. RG Stitt from Ruger. Man, are they ever hot as they can be. New guns, new products, ammo. We'll have some more news about some other things that they're doing before long. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. Looking for your range reports. What are you shooting? What are you concerned with? Are you watching what Obama did in Oregon? What was your feeling on that? 866-TALK-GUN.
Put a pistol in your hand, and what's your first thought? How does it feel? Then, how can I make it perfect for me? That's why FNH USA is offering the FNS Compact, perfect for concealed carry, ergonomic, ambidextrous, customizable, part of the highly regarded FNS series of striker-fired polymer pistols. Find your perfect pistol. Learn more about the FNS and FNX lines at your dealer, or visit us at fnhusa.com.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle combines features of the Ruger American Rifle and innovations of the 1022 Rimfire Rifle to appeal to all bolt-action enthusiasts. It features a modular stock system that provides comb height options for scope or iron sight use, a power bedding integral bedding block system for outstanding accuracy, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, and a 1022-style rotary magazine for reliable feeding. The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Be sure to watch NRA Freedom Friday from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. with Freedom Fighters, American Air Gunner, ATSN Stop the Threat, Gun Talk TV, Championship Season, Guns and Gear TV. Watch NRA's Freedom Friday only on the Pursuit Channel, where we deliver the outdoors.
Crossbreed Holsters is broadening our product selection to serve more of your concealed carry needs. With products handmade in the USA, like the bedside backup, gun belts, and of course our world-famous Super Tuck and Mini Tuck holsters, we understand what works, and we take pride in providing you with a quality product. At Crossbreed Holsters, we live and breathe concealed carry. We make and sell products that we believe in and products that our customers love. To see more, go to crossbreedholsters.com. That's crossbreedholsters.com.
All right, back with you. 866 Talk Gun gets you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. Had a most interesting thing happen this week. I got let's see how did it actually get started? On my Twitter feed, I'm at GunTalk on Twitter, somebody had posted a link to the NPR station in Manhattan where they were asking for input on how America views firearms, so America's opinions, their thoughts on firearms and firearms ownership. So I threw a tweet out there. I said, if you really want to know, all you have to do is listen to Gun Talk on more than 200 stations around the country. So they contacted me from this NPR station. And they said, well, would you do an interview? Well, sure. I'll always do an interview. Well, they couldn't do it live. We couldn't make it happen live. So they wanted to do a recorded interview, so that's fine. Always a little bit more perilous to do a recorded interview because you never know what's going to happen when it gets edited. So they said, your host is John. Didn't know John from Adam. Still don't, actually. We did a 26-minute interview by my watch. And it ended up being about 6 minutes on the air. And I have the links to the recorded interview. You can hear it. The links are on Twitter. It was fascinating. And what was really more interesting than anything was seeing the comments of people who regularly listened to him after the interview, after they heard it. Even people who said, I really hate guns, but boy, John, you are way out there on this one. You're normally even-handed and you lost it. He he went right where I thought he might go. Let's be fair about this. He's in New York. He's on NPR. And don't get me wrong. Look, I like NPR. Some people go, oh, NPR. No, I like NPR. I think they do some really good work. So, I mean, don't get me wrong about that. But he had interviewed Piers Morgan the day before. Of course, Morgan basically wants to ban guns, as does the host of the show, apparently. And it was interesting. He kept asking these leading questions and then would get upset when I wouldn't just follow him where he wanted me to go. He said, well, you're not answering the question. And I said, well, your question contains so many errors in fact that I have to correct the question before we can get to the meat, because I can't just let the question stand. It's like you're making a false statement. And, of course, he didn't much care for that. He must not have very many people who correct him on that. And then he's going on and on about mass shootings and school shootings, and shouldn't we, talk about them? And he said, well, do you think that the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, we should remove the block on their research on guns? Because I'm sure you are aware that Congress blocked the Center for Disease Control from doing quote-unquote research or studies on guns about 25 years ago. And my answer was, if the CDC wants to study guns and they will do it in a fair and even-handed manner, I have no problem with that. I said, but the problem is, and so I jumped in because I knew that he didn't know, the problem is their funding was removed when the head of the CDC said his goal is to ban guns. He said, we're going to do studies on guns with the goal of making them like cigarettes, filthy and banned. I said, when you start out with that as your stated goal, then no, I don't think they should get funding. He said, well, then you're saying that they shouldn't study Ebola and with the goal of trying to eradicate that? And I said, well, you're not really equating guns to Ebola, are you? He said, well, they both kill. Okay. And so it went, with me trying to state facts and him getting caught up in his dogma. He couldn't get out of his own way, but his own fans tore him up. I mean, one guy said, talk about your backhanded compliment, says, I think the gun nut was a lot more rational than you were, John. Not sure exactly how to take that. Is that really a compliment?
You're listening to Gun Talk, now on more than 200 great radio stations. Now, here's Tom.
All righty, we're back with you. 866 Talk Gun. If you'd like a question, you got a question, or you want to comment on something, or you know what? If you just don't like guns, that's okay. We'll give you the floor. It's interesting what happens when that happens. I mean, basically, I get out of the way. You can have your say. Now, don't expect to be able to do a monologue for a while without me at least asking a few questions, but it'll be civil and we'll be cordial and we can disagree without being disagreeable. So if you don't like guns or you think it's just time that we do something about guns, call me, but you're going to have to make a good case for it because I'm going to ask you to get more than just bumper sticker on this, okay? 866 Talk Gun. Now, you know that last week we were talking about the announcement, the introduction by Ruger of their LCR, their light compact revolver in the .327 Federal cartridge. And we were thinking, not a lot of people still don't know much about that cartridge. And said, well, who do we know who does? Oh, yeah. We always know somebody who knows something about every cartridge, every load out there. Mike McNett from DoubleTap Ammunition joins us right now. Hey, Mike, how's it going out there?
Everything is going good out here. Hunting season's upon us, and we still have summer-like weather. It doesn't get any better than this.
Now, first thing I did, I always do this, when we start talking about a cartridge last week, I said, well, I wonder if McNett, and it's silly, like, okay, yeah, of course he loads for it. I go to your website, of course you have loads for the .327 Federal. This cartridge has been out for a while, but a lot of people still don't know much about it, right?
Yeah, it's actually been out for a few years, and I I'm really surprised that it didn't take off a little bit. I don't know, a little bit better than it did, because it's so versatile. You can take 327 Federal loads, load it up, pretty hot, darn near as powerful as a 357 Magnum, and you can take that and shoot it in that gun. You can take 32 H&R Magnums, and everybody knows what those are. They're lighter. They're kind of 38 special-ish power loads, and you can actually take that same platform, and you can fire 32 Smith & Wesson longs, 32 short Colts, 32 Smith & Wessons in it, if you can find them. Now that's the thing, but it does have the ability to do it, and it's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's interesting because you made the point, and I'm not sure that people are really hearing what we're saying when we tell them, look, the 327 Magnum, the Federal Magnum, will produce energy levels at just right at the 357 Magnum level, which has always been the standard for self-defense. I mean, that was always considered the one against which you measured everything else. And what you also get in the case of like this Ruger revolver, you get one more round. So your 5-shot revolver just became a 6-shot.
That's exactly right. What it does, it operates at a higher pressure. The maximum average pressure is higher. I believe it's 43,000 psi instead of 35,000. So you're operating at this higher pressure, but I won't get into the dynamics of the interior ballistics, but you're able to do it safely with that smaller cartridge for a lot of reasons. And for a caller who wants to talk about that, we can. But what I'll talk about is what you can get ballistically from that from that round. So our classic 357 used to be in the 15 to 1600 range with a 125. Now, typically, it's in the 14 to 1450 range for the big three companies for ammo.
Wait. Let me make sure people understand what you just said there, Mike. The velocities that are actually being delivered from the mainline ammo companies have actually come down. The loads are not as powerful as they used to be, right?
That's exactly right. Over the last 25 to 30 years, they've gone down about 150 to 200 feet per second in the 357 Magnum, in the 150s and the 125s. And I like to call it lawyerizing them because of all the older guns that are out there. But I don't understand it if you keep within the SAMI pressure specs. I don't know why you need to drop them all the way down like that, but we don't, so I don't worry about it too much. But with the 327, the heaviest bullets that are typically out there are 115 grains, so you're only 10 grains shy. And I'll just use our 115 hardcast as an example. From a 6-inch barrel, we're getting 1,600 feet per second. And that is smoking. From a 3-inch barrel, we're getting so it's a Ruger SP-101, the cousin to the LCR. We're getting 1,400 with that same gun. I have one of the LCR prototypes from way back when they were looking at it before, and that same 115 I have in my notes here was going 1320. And so I'll wait till I get the final one, but that's pretty much what it's going to be doing. It's about 1320 with that 115. Yeah, and the nice part about it, and I don't want to get too technical, but the sectional density on that little 32 bullet, which is the ratio of the weight of the bullet to the diameter of the bullet, and that a lot of times with a hard cast will give you an indication of how well it will penetrate. The sectional density of that little 115 is actually commensurate to a 200 grain 10 millimeter or 40 caliber, or about 158 grain 357 Magnum. And so you're going to get, exactly. If you have a solid, you're going after deer or bear or hogs, you're going to get similar penetration with running at the similar speeds. That 115 as you will from, let's say, one of my favorites, a 10 millimeter 200. You'll get similar penetration. It really does penetrate.
All right, one more question for you. Put on your thinking cap. Take that same load that you're loading up like that, a 115 hard-cast lead bullet, and put it in a 16-inch barrel in a lever-action rifle. What are we going to get? We're going to add 250 or 300 feet per second, aren't we?
No, we won't. We'll add more than that. Oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I know it because of the pressure and the pressure curve that it's running on in our ammo. You'll probably be, I'd bet money that you'd be in the 2,000 to 2,100 feet per second with that 150.
I gotta have one of those. We have to convince somebody to make this rifle, Mike.
I think we do, actually. I wouldn't mind giving that one a try, because I think with a 16-inch barrel, that would be just a hammer. I mean, and not the recoil would not be too bad at all. The self-defense loads, you can go into the 32 H&R if you need to. Like if you're recoil sensitive, we've got a little 60 grain, it's lead free. Right. The Barnes projectile, and from that, I've got my notes here again from the LCR. You're looking about the 60 grainers going about 1250. From that little guy, from a 3-inch gun, it's going 1300, and that's the light brother to the 327.
Now imagine shooting that lighter load in that rifle, or even a one of the Smith & Wesson long, 32 long. That would be amazing. Hey, Mike, hold on a second here. Take a quick break. We're gonna go gun geeky on you here. If you got a question, you want to talk about ballistics, now's your time. Give us a holler, 866-TALK-GUN. We've got Dave on hold. He wants to talk about the 40 cal versus the 10. Man, are you talking to the right guy when you talk to Mike McNett from DoubleTap Ammunition? We'll be right back.
Has the ammo you run in your AR got you in a jam? High-performance guns need high-performance ammo. New Barnes Range AR ammo uses top-quality components to ensure your gun runs smooth. It's loaded with light-for-caliber jacketed zinc core bullets to maximize speed. In 5.56 and 300 blackout. Barnes Range AR ammo. It's fast, it's flat, it's accurate, and it's easy on steel. BarnesBullets.com.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from GUNTALK. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
The world can be a dangerous place. Gear up with the industry's original and most trusted laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. Equipping your firearm with laser and light systems will enhance your effectiveness and help keep you and your family out of harm's way. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com and receive a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge. Crimson Trace.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gun Dealio, the free app for your smartphone. Gun Dealio delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gun Dealio. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gun Dealio. GunDealio.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
What's the best self-defense gun? It's the one you have with you. The Taurus Curve is the most comfortable gun you can carry, so you will have it with you. It actually curves to fit your body. Ultra comfortable, snag-free. Made in the USA. Built in light and laser. 10.2 ounces of 380 firepower. Double action only. The world's first and only curved firearm. Details at TaurusUSA.com.
Okay, back with you here. We're talking with Mike McNett from DoubleTap Ammunition. Mike, the website, DoubleTapAmmunition.com?
You got it, yep.
Okay, I've got a caller. Dave has called in from California, and I'm just going to put you guys together. Hey, Dave, how you doing, man?
Very well. How are you?
Well, I am great. You got Mike McNett from DoubleTap Ammunition here, and I see that you got a question on the ballistic differences between the 40 and the 10. What's your interest? Do you have one or the other? Are you thinking about buying? What's going on here?
Well, I'm thinking about buying one for carry, and I'm looking at the difference. I was wondering if it's like the difference between a 380 and a 9mm or a 38 357.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, it's if you think of it in terms of 38 and 357, you're going to be awful darn close. The 10mm runs at slightly higher pressures, and its longer overall length gives it more powder capacity. What you're typically going to see between a good 40 load and a good 10 load are about 200 feet per second difference with the same exact bullet, and that's going to give you quite a bit more power to do what you want to do. So that's what energy is, the ability to do work. So what is it you really want to do? Do you want to stop bad guy? Do you want to go after a hog or a deer, whatever it is? It just gives you more energy to do some work. Now, it does come with a price because it's in a larger platform. So you're going to be in that 45 size platform in the gun that you do carry. So you have to find the gun that fits you. But the difference between the two is really, it's not like the movies where the guy's going to get knocked across the room by the gun shooting.
Yeah, it's not a 500 Smith & Wesson.
No, it's not. It's not that instantly you're going to be a 500 Smith & Wesson, but what it will do is allow that the cavitation to be more violent and to open up the bullet quicker, and to let it penetrate deeper in a given scenario, whether it's defending your life or going after, let's say, a deer. It does give you more ability to get the job done.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. Mike, let me ask you something. You mentioned it's about 200 feet per second faster, and if you're shooting a rifle, you might say, well, that's nice, but it's not a big deal. But in a handgun, the percentage of increase is significant, and the energy developed is a significant increase, isn't it?
Yeah. So, like, if you have I'll just use a one that is really popular with us. Let's say we've got a 40 with a 200 grain hard cast for hunting, let's say, and it's going 1050 from a standard size, let's say Glock 23. You're going to get 1,050 feet per second with a 200 grain bullet. When you jump that up to 1,250 and 1,300, depending on which 200 grain load you choose in 10mm, that's 20% more velocity. If you do the same thing with your 7 Mag 150 that's going 3,000, and you jump it up 20%, now you've got a load going 3,600 feet
36. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. All right, Mike, we're going to have to run. I appreciate you helping us out here with the 327, all the ballistic stuff. I mean, Mike McNett is my go-to guy on ballistics info. If you want more information on what they do, it's DoubleTapAmmunition.com. Mike, I know that we kind of drug you in. I hope you get out there and do some more hunting and keep working up those loads, man. We will see you, if not before, we'll at least see you at SHOT Show.
All right, that sounds great.
All right, take care. Yeah, ballistic stuff. Very cool. Kane, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you. We do have room. If you'd like to join us right now, 866-TALK-GUN. Oh, did I tell you that the NPR guy, he said I was ornery? I guess I am. Is that a compliment or is that a criticism? I don't know. All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun. Tom Gresham here. Line 2, Kane's with us out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hey, Kane, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, sir. Sorry, allergies. I was looking into getting a pistol caliber carbine. I'm kind of curious what type of pistol round would be the best for that.
Okay, describe what the intended use is, what kind of carbine you're talking about getting, so I can kind of fine-tune this.
Okay, I'm looking at a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. It's going to be a balance between a self-defense rifle and a plinking rifle.
Okay, so what are our options there in that platform?
You got 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, and 45.
Okay, if it were me, I would hands down go with the 9, and the overwhelming reason would be the cost of the ammunition, because if you're including plinking, you're going to do a bunch of shooting. 9mm is like half the cost of 45, and it's a lot less than 40. You can buy 1,000 rounds of 9, full metal jacket stuff for not a lot of money these days, and it's harder to find cheap 40 or 45 ammo. I would get the 9 in a heartbeat. And here's the other thing. If you're going to use it for self-defense, good defensive 9mm ammo, expanding bullets, out of the carbine is going to develop a good 200 to 300 feet per second more velocity. So you're going to get really good performance, self-defense performance out of that. I would go with 9.
Okay. I have a second question, if you don't mind.
You bet. Go ahead.
What would happen to 7.62 by 25 if you put in a pistol caliber carbine? Would there be a big difference, or would it just maintain the same velocity as if it was shot out of a tow cross?
Well, you always get more velocity out of longer barrels. How much extra velocity depends somewhat on the load, the powder used, etc. But you could kind of roughly figure on about a 20 to 25 foot per second per inch increase. Exactly, and up to a point, because, at a certain point you've used up all the powder that the cartridge holds and it's no longer accelerating. But generally, if you're talking about going from a 4 to 5 inch barrel to a 16-inch barrel, you're going to be picking up 200, maybe 300 feet per second difference. So, yeah, that's just kind of a universal truth, just because now the powder has a longer distance, longer period of time to accelerate the bullet down the barrel. Obviously, once the bullet leaves the barrel, it's not accelerating anymore because all that powder is just blown out to the sides. So there you go. Let's see here. Jack, real quickly, line 1 out of Missouri. You got a question here, Jack?
Yeah, real quick. I got a concealed weapon permit. What kind of guns is it limited as far as what guns you can purchase or ammo with a concealed weapon permit? And what's the best one to close down a closing distance between you and the target? If someone's coming at you or someone's at a distance, what's the best type of gun to use to neutralize the threat?
Sure. Basically, what's the best self-defense kind of gun you can do? Okay, for concealed carry, it's the same as anything else. It's, you're balancing out what you can carry, the size, the weight, the capability, what kind of holster you have. It is very much a personal decision. It's what works. If you start talking about, closing the distance, generally not something you want to do, but there are some situations where you might want to do that. I'm going to make a really, really strong suggestion, Jack, that you get some training. Go get some classes where it takes a full day to do the class, and then take another one that takes a full day. So you're going to learn to draw and shoot, move and shoot, and work your gun, and work malfunctions, and work it when it goes empty, and work it when it jams, and shoot it on your back, and shoot it from your side, and shoot it from behind barricades, and shoot it behind barriers, and how to move forward, and how to move backward, and how to move sideways. You're not going to do that in most concealed carry classes. Get some training, and you know what? And after the training, here's the thing. Here's the magic part of all that. You won't have to ask me. You'll know what the answers are because you will have been there, and you can make up your own mind. Get informed, get the training, make an informed decision, and you can figure it out.